I'm Rosalie. I wanted to share my favorite couple of exercises that you can do for upper shoulder pain and tension in this area that people often get, like for example if you spend a lot of time at the computer. So there are mental and emotional reasons and things we can do mentally and emotionally for the tension we get from our shoulders creeping up around our ears. But today I just want to talk about a couple of physical things we can do with our bodies and our physiology. So the shoulder mechanics, you've got your scapula on the back, your shoulder blade, big flat muscle that floats around on our rib cage, and it tends to go up and forward, and we get discomfort in this area. This is actually due to some things being pretty tight in here. For whatever reason, we don't feel the discomfort in this area, we feel it up here. But there are muscles here that are involved in the situation. So we've got one muscle that comes from our rib cage up to a bony nubbin on our shoulder, and that pulls it forward. And then we've got these muscles back here that lift it up. So what we want to do with our body is engage the muscles that make it go in the opposite direction. So those are muscles on the back of our body that will pull it downward and backward. Hopefully that shows up, downward and backward. And so there's something we can take advantage of physiologically, which is that when we engage a muscle, it tells its antagonist, the muscles that do the opposite action, that they have to contract. So that happens with our quadriceps and hamstrings and our biceps and triceps. So that's what I want to use for this. So the exercise, you can do it different ways. That you can do it anywhere. You can do it laying on the floor. You can do it, I'm going to demonstrate it just draped over the massage table. You can also do it standing. But the idea is to engage the muscles here to move your scapula downward and inward so that it ends up going down and back. I'll do that again from this angle. Downward and then inward. Inward meaning toward your spine. So it ends up down and back, and these end up more open. So we want to do that so that we're using gravity to create resistance. If we just do that in a standing position, there's no resistance. Your muscles aren't working very hard. So if they're not working very hard, not very much of them are engaged. So if we use gravity, then more of the muscle has to be engaged. So what that looks like is I'll put myself in a horizontal position so that now I have to work against gravity. And I'm going to lift my arm up, because with my arm out, there's a lot of work that has to be done in the muscles here on my back. So it's these muscles that we're really wanting to focus on. And you can maybe see what's happening with my scapula when I lift my arm up. Here's the inferior angle of my scapula. Can you see that? And then as I lift my arm up, I can pull that inferior angle down and toward my spine. So once again, the inferior angle goes down and toward my spine. So I'm actually sliding my scapula down my body. And if I move my thumb, so that it's pointed toward the ceiling, then it just acts so I know how my humerus is rotated. So I derotate my humerus, or rotate my humerus, depending on how you look at it. So I'm just doing that with one arm. There's no reason you can't do it with both. It's just maybe a little bit harder. So you're just sliding your scapula from the forward position to being back and down. I like to keep my neck fairly relaxed. And you know you're doing it well if your ears are not bunched up around your shoulders aren't bunched up around your ears. So if you're doing something like this, so that your shoulders and ears are really close together, that's not what I'm hoping for. It's more something like that, where there's a lot of space around your shoulders and ears. You can do that in a standing position, pretty much the same thing, except it might be harder on your low back. So if you have a low back thing going on, you might not want to do that. But it's the same thing where you just bend forward. This is nice because you can do it anywhere. And you just pull your scapula back. You still get that nice resistance from gravity. The other thing you can do, takes a little bit longer, is just get a couple of pillows or some harder object and put a pillow over the top of it and lay on the floor or maybe on your bed if it's not too soft, and let your arms, and keep your head supported, and just lay there and let your arms open up. It may be that this arm doesn't want to go down all the way, in which case it's easier to let things open up if you put a pillow under it. If it does go down all the way, super. And you can just hang out in this position and let things lengthen. Try and make sure that your rib cage doesn't go too far up in the air, so you can think about letting your rib cage go down, letting this be open, so that you're really just concentrating that opening, that stretch in that area. And that's it. And then, so you just hang out in this position for, 5 or 10 minutes. Maybe you can listen to an audiobook or a podcast or something. This takes longer than the other one. So that's it. Those are my two go-to things for upper shoulder tension. I hope that's helpful. Thanks.